Hey everyone, welcome back to the In the Pocket podcast. I'm Max Sturm, joined alongside Logan Martin and Xander Cook back here recapping week 5 of the NFL. Another kind of wonky week, not as wonky as the last two, but certainly had our scores in there that we did not expect to see. And we're going to just dive right into it, boys. I want to start by talking about the Vikings and the Browns. I forget what your guys' picks were. I feel like one of
I
you
had the
picked the
Browns.
Browns. Yeah. I predicted the exact score and winner, so props to me for that. Um, yeah, I mean, we expected this to be a defensive game, right? So we go into this and thinking that the Browns are going to keep it close. They did, and they actually had the lead for a while there down in the fourth quarter, but a really, really well put together drive by the Minnesota Vikings and Carson Wentz uh, and Justin Jefferson. Xander, I remember you sitting on my couch and we saw that catch by Jefferson on the last drive, just being in
That
awe
was
of what we
beautiful.
saw. Um, Absolutely incredible drive from them going down the stretch, and they kick the field goal and they win, or they score the touchdown rather, and they win the
Mhm.
game. Any thoughts on that game, boys?
Yeah, honestly, like I had Cleveland winning that game more so because I trusted their defense over Minnesota's. And I was actually shocked by how well Dylan Gabriel played. We saw a lot of RPOs, a lot of play actions that sort of fit his play style, and he looked pretty sharp out there. And then Minnesota, they just did not look good against that Cleveland defense. And it wasn't until that final drive where that defense finally broke and Minnesota's offense showed us what it's capable of, whether it's under Carson Wentz, whether it's under JJ McCarthy, whoever. I mean, you have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. And then we saw that Justin Jefferson catch. We were amazed by it. It was who's the corner? Was it Denzel Ward he was on?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
definitely
on
scored.
Denzel Ward, who's one of the shut down corners in the league, and just throw it up to Jettis, he'll get it. And sure enough, he did. And then what a last play call to get a wide open Jordan Addison in the end zone. Just a beautiful throw from Carson Wentz, right on the money to wide open Addison. And honestly, I was shocked that Addison didn't play in the first quarter, but come to find out, he skipped a team walkthrough, so that's why.
Yeah, and Judkins had a very good game for the Browns too. Actually, we saw Gabriel take advantage of what he has in that weapon. Logan, what do you got?
Yeah, right where you left off. Judkins finally had a great game, and I think that was the performance that solidifies him as the number one back out of this draft class. It's week by week he seemed to improve and improve and improve, and that's what you're looking for, especially out of a rookie. He's been impressive, and Dylan Gabriel was impressive as well. I really think that Coach Stefanski blew that game away in the fourth
Mhm.
quarter with 7 minutes left. They had the ball in Dylan Gabriel's hands right around midfield, and they chose to throw the football on first and second down. Found himself in third and long. Just not, Quinshon Judkins has been having a hell of a game. Why not hand the ball off to him? See if you can get
Exactly.
second and short, and then maybe run for another first down, or have the ability to, you know, go to that part of your playbook where it's second and short. They weren't able to do that, and they put it right back to Minnesota. And then from there, both offenses kind of stalled out until Minnesota got into 2 minute drill, and then we saw them take it away and go down and get a game-winning drive. But the Browns had that one in the bag, I thought, based on how they played defense and based on how they were playing on offense. But
Mhm.
kind of threw that away. Disappointing if you're a Browns fan, but great one if you're Minnesota. That 2 minute drill was beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Judd.
it
Sorry, go
was
ahead.
by far the worst loss of the season, in my opinion, for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, yeah, they got blown out 41-17 to Baltimore, but honestly, this was the worst loss of the season for me. This could have been a quick turnaround for your season. You have a rookie quarterback going in against one of the top defenses, um, on paper, that is, and you look good all game. Your running game is phenomenal. Dylan Gabriel looks better than expected. And you just totally disregard running the ball in the fourth quarter with Quinshon Judkins. It was just insane on Stefanski's part to completely blow that game away, and he should be on the hot seat. He's been on the hot seat, and it's mind blowing he hasn't been fired yet, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we talked about it on Sunday when we saw the graphic come up that he was a two-time Coach of the Year winner.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, definitely a very poorly managed game considering that Judkins had 110 yards on 23 carries. You feel like you just got to give him the ball more. And he was doing well out of the backfield as well. Moving forward, not really going to touch on this game, but Cowboys get the 37-22 win over the Jets at MetLife, which I think we all expected. And then just real briefly, because there was some spark of debate of this with this game last week. Giants and Saints. Saints win 26-14. Giants get up to a pretty good start there. I think it was 14-3 or 14-6 or something like that going into the half.
It was
Saints
14 nothing at one point.
yeah, in the Saints rally back in the second half. And they did have a decent crowd there, Xander. So don't ever disrespect that Saints crowd, that Saints fan base ever again.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just again, that was just poor coaching on Dable's part, but honestly, that was a pretty bad performance from Jackson Dart after the first quarter. I
He's got
mean,
no one to throw to.
yeah, he's got no one to throw to, but I mean, he had that fumble where the ball just fell out of his hands.
Hmm.
Just fell out of his hands. It goes right to the Saints, and then he threw a couple picks. It was just a really bad game from Dart. So if he once he learns to limit the amount of turnovers without Neighbors, I think the kid's gonna be a stud. Like he can make plays with his legs. He showed it against the Chargers. He showed it against the Saints. I there's no doubt in my mind that the kid's gonna be a stud. So he's just got to limit the turnovers.
Yeah, Logan, anything?
No, man, I got nothing on this game. What's on my mind is just Joe Flacco on the Bengals, and I just feel like he's gonna ball out. Like I just been thinking about Jamar Chase and T Higgins, and how the hell can you be a bad quarterback with those two to
Yeah,
throw
no
to? I
shit.
could go
Well,
out
we saw
there.
Jake Browning. Anyway, the Colts beat the Raiders 40-6. And then in an interesting game that really should not have came about, the Carolina Panthers win 27-24 over the Dolphins. Holy shit. The seat is red hot for McDaniel and that GM, I forget his name,
Yeah.
that they are both going to be fired if they get another loss like this. And honestly, it could be as soon as next week. You go
Mm-hmm.
into a Tagovailoa, honestly doesn't have a terrible game. 20 256 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. But the run game was terrible against was one of the best or sorry, worst statistical defenses of all time last year. They made some subtle improvements this year. Devon Achane rushes for 16 yards on 10 carries. That's absolutely insane. That is one of the Logan, we're talking about stats earlier and some crazy stats from the first 5 weeks. You want to single in on this week. That's an insane stat. You don't see that. That is incredible that it was that bad. Passing game was much better for them. 110 yards on 6 receptions and a touchdown for Jalen Waddle. And then you look over on the Panthers side. Bryce Young didn't have a crazy good game, but he managed it well at the end. 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he threw a pick. I think we're just becoming used to that at this point. And then Tet McMillan, again, didn't go over 100 yards, but he made those clutch catches when he needed to. Xavier Legette made an awesome catch for a touchdown in that game as well. Just, you got to love the heart of this Panthers team to fight back in some of these games.
Yeah, my takeaway from this game, obviously, I think the Dolphins passing game is going to be fine as long as Tua's on the money. I mean, his favorite target now is Darren Waller, and how about Darren Waller's comeback
Right?
out of football for a couple of years, and he's already scored, what, 3, 4 touchdowns in his 2 games he's been back. So I'd expect Tua to target Waller a lot more. Waller's going to have a good year. And then you go back to the Panther side. You mentioned that Leggett touchdown. How about that throw from Bryce
Yeah,
Young?
that was a beautiful throw.
Never in a million years would I think he'd be able to make that throw in the NFL. And that was right on the money. He put it exactly where it needed to be. Corner was showing his back. Bryce Young just throws it into the back corner for Leggett to go dive and get it. Beautiful throw, perfect placement, and then hell of a game-winning drive to give Carolina the win. My takeaway from this Panthers team is you never know what version you're going to get with this team. They're either going to be horrible or they're going to surprise you. And because of that, they are not a safe team to bet on.
Right. And before I let you take it, Logan, Rico Dodal 206 yards on the ground in that game and a score. Just an incredible performance on the offensive side of the ball. They weren't like the passing game wasn't too strong, but Bryce Young went out there and did what he needed to do to get this win over a bad Miami defense. Logan, take it away.
Yeah, I don't really have much. I think I had the Panthers win this game. Thought it was gross. It was gross. They got the W. I'm just surprised McDaniel's still head coach. He needs to just give it up and go be an offense coordinator somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, from a coaching perspective, but also just the guy who represents your team. Um, I know he's not your typical public speaker, but I hate seeing this guy in press conferences, man. Like it's sad. He almost seems like he just doesn't care.
Well, I wonder what it's like in front of a bunch of grown men in the locker room. You know what I mean? If he's doing that
That
in front
no,
of a
so
bunch of
that
media
that
guys, like what's he gonna?
that was my point. And that's a great point from Max. That's a even better point from you, Logan. Like the dude is a cone when it comes to press conferences. Just acts like he doesn't give a shit. But then you see after a win, him and the post game where the Dolphins marketing team or media team, they're filming the locker room speeches, and that dude is fired up after every win. And it's like, why aren't you the same during the press conferences?
Yeah, like you look at press conferences with Aaron Glenn, and they're the only team without a win in the National Football League. He's in in the press conference, basically saying, "I'm going to embrace this challenge. I'm going to take this head on. I'm going to attack it, and we're going to get out of this." And you see just a 0 to 100 with McDaniel, and you don't want to see a lack of confidence in the head coach, and he's openly admitted to alcohol problems in his past. Um, wonder, you just wonder about those kind of things. You don't want to see his mental health suffer from being a head coach in the NFL, which it kind of comes with being a head coach, but you just see it kind of take a toll on him different than other head coaches when they lose. You see other head coaches take accountability, say it's on them, and then they move on in the next week. It's just like you see this press conference and it's just sad.
Yeah.
Mm.
So will McDaniel be a head coach after next week's matchup? We will find out soon. Moving on to the next game, Broncos with a 21-17 win, knocking off the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles in that game. I mean, I specifically was giving Bo Nix a lot of crap about the way that he's played so far this year. He had a decent game versus the Bengals, but again, facing one of the worst defenses in all of football. Now he comes in and plays one of the best, and the scoring touchdowns weren't really there. He threw one, but 220 in 42 yards, 24 of 39. Not a bad resume from that game. And then obviously on the defensive side of the ball, you've got one of the best defenses, one of the best secondaries, really locking down an already struggling Eagles pass game. And Jalen Hurts did have a decent day as well, almost 300 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns. But it just seems like this offense is not what it used to be, guys.
No, it
Yeah,
definitely isn't. And you could see it through every game. It's just not clicking. Saquon isn't nearly getting the amount of yardage we expect him. And not that we were expecting him to go off against the Broncos defense, but you'd think he'd get more than what was his stat line that he finished with? Not even 40, correct?
Yeah, 30 yards on 6 carries.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's he has 6 carries and he's averaging almost 6 yards, or he's averaging
Five
five
yards a
per
carry.
carry. Why are you only feeding him the rock 6 times? So that's a coaching issue. I've noticed that with the Eagles offense, they're only scoring like 19, 20 points per game, whereas last year they were getting over 30, and that's because of the change in coordinators. I mean, their new offensive coordinator, their schemes are different. He's calling the wrong plays at the wrong time.
they
And
have
then
15 plays they run. If you watch the tape, they have 15 plays.
that's it. Yeah, their playbook is not open at all. And
The
then
same fucking play every time.
exactly. And then not only that, there's miscommunication between Hertz and AJ Brown. There was that deep ball where Hertz launched it to wide open Brown and it was just overthrown, or Brown stopped running the ball or
Yeah, yeah,
running the route, and then it was just overthrown at that
all
point.
right.
It's,
Now,
everything's going wrong for Philly offensively.
yeah. Logan, anything?
Yeah, I mean the Broncos and Sean Payton's patience worked out. It was kind of frustrating watching those 3 and out and then the punt, or like they go 3 and out, but they drag the possession along and they find themselves in field goal range, and then all of a sudden they're out of it, and then they're punting again. It's like, why aren't you going for a fourth down, or why are you not in field goal range? Cortland Sutton had a drop, and then Bo Nix had a wide open man for a touchdown that he missed. Like it just felt like there was so much left out there for the offense on the Broncos, even knowing that they're underwhelming compared to the Eagles offense going into the game. But it worked out for them. They're down 3-17 going in the fourth quarter. They were 1-112 going into the fourth quarter while trailing by 14 or more points. They're now 2-112 after that game. And it finally, and the Eagles lack of explosiveness finally bit them in the butt. They have all the talent around them, but they can't seem to find ways to get them the ball in those positions where they get 20+ yard plays like we saw last year. So it's definitely underwhelming, this offense. Whole lot of talent makes you question, like, why aren't we talking about the Eagles offensive coordinator like we talk about other coordinators or other head coaches in the NFL? Like something's going on. But, the whole 11 on the Broncos stepped up late in the fourth quarter, whether it was getting to the quarterback or it was Bo Nix, just staying poised and delivering in key moments. It was impressive, the Broncos. And they went man to man the whole first half, if you watch the tape, and it bit them in the butt. They were over aggressive. That's where we saw Saquon Barkley on a wheel route got matched 1-on-1 with a linebacker. And then the Broncos finally at halftime realized, hey, maybe we can't run man to man 75% of the time on these guys, because even though we're expecting negative plays, we're going to get burnt downfield eventually trying to do this. So they switched to zone in the second half and it worked out. Like the Jalen Hurts is so good against man. And I heard someone talk about it last week. Everyone, at one point in Jalen Hurts' career, he was so bad against the blitz, but he saw it so much and he's so poised and level-headed now that he's just so experienced against the blitz.
Yeah.
So now it's the whole stats and the whole splits have reversed. Now he's just terrible against zone. So the Broncos finally made a decision to switch it up on defense. It paid off, and the Eagles still can't make adjustments. They still can't. It doesn't matter if it's in the first half, it's in the second half. They're talking at halftime. They're talking the first quarter, third quarter, going in the fourth. I don't care. They can't make adjustments, and it's obvious. If you watch the game, it's obvious, and
Mhm.
that's why they finally got burnt by a less talented team, the Denver Broncos. Let me
I
ask you
can.
guys. Let me ask you guys a question. Okay, what's more surprising, the Eagles' D to close the game, the Broncos' late offensive push, Broncos D bent but never broke, or the Eagles' offense stays meh? Because I feel like all four is intriguing. What do you guys
I
think?
think the most eye-popping one is just the Eagles' offense staying meh. And that's just because they have so many talented guys. They still have one of the best offensive lines in football. They have Saquon Barkley at running back. They have Jalen Hurts, who's a top five quarterback. And then you have one of the best receiving rooms in all of football. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. You have all these weapons, and you're not even scoring over 20 points per game. It's ridiculous at this point. And it just reminds me a lot of Brian Johnson from, I believe, the 2023 season, where the Eagles offense, they had all this talent and they just looked mediocre all year on offense. And all of a sudden, the people were calling for Sirianni's head at that point. It's like, why are you pointing the blame at Sirianni? It's the offense out here that's tragic. You like put the blame on the offense, or the offensive coordinator. So they let go of Brian Johnson, and who do they bring in? They bring in Kellen Moore, and now all of a sudden that offense is the best in football, scoring over 30 points per game. They go out and win a Super Bowl. Boom, Kellen Moore goes to the Saints as a head coach. Now he hires someone who is way worse than him, and that's the result.
Yeah. Interesting you bring up Sirianni. During those first two games where again the offense didn't look all too great, he still found a way to adjust in that second half and get those wins. And it's just sad that you don't see him make similar adjustments in the second half of this game when the Broncos do switch to his own defense. You're supposed to make those in-game adjustments. It's what makes a good head coach a great head coach. He just didn't do it in this game. And credit Sean Payton, who is obviously a veteran and one of the all-time better coaches in this league. Just very surprised. And now another thing that I've been seeing is just how frustrated the wide receiver room is getting there, despite the 4-1 record. Obviously, Devonta Smith has like 114 yards or something like that, and puts up a good game. Had that long touchdown at one point as well. but AJ Brown is still not getting the rock. He's still not being thrown to. This is a big physical receiver that you would expect is going to see maybe even close to 10 targets per game, if not more. And
Mhm.
you figure he can make those tough catches over a guy like Patrick Surtain here and there. You throw the 50-50 ball to him, you throw it to him on those slant routes or those corner routes. And they just really haven't been doing that all season. And so it makes me wonder, is AJ Brown going to hit the trade block come week 8?
Not if Philly keeps winning. Not a chance.
I've seen some conflicting reports that he's overly frustrated with the way that the system works now, and that he feels like he's not the number one target
Yeah.
anymore.
And I really think this team's like like if they have three more of these performances or even two, this could be a dumpster fire. You think about dynasties like the New England Patriots, the Kansas City Chiefs, like other than Deflategate, we don't really have the conversations we have about the Eagles. What I mean by that is when they're winning, there's always something going on the sideline, whether it's coaches, whether it's players complaining about not getting the ball, whether it's Big Dom on the sideline texting or getting in a fight with someone on the opposing team, and then that is just drama. You know what I mean? So there's always something that comes up, even though the Eagles are winning. So are Eagles fans spoiled? Or is this going to be a dumpster fire soon? I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit of both. And I only say that because this offense, man, if you continue doing this, you can't go 15-2. There's no way you can go 15-2 if you
Mhm.
if you continue to do this on offense. There's no way you're gonna get
Yeah,
perfect.
That's that's
especially
an
as their schedule gets tougher
yeah.
down the stretch.
And it's another great point because I hate to say it, but we saw the same thing with Kansas City. Their offense just looked flat, and they went 9-0 and only lost like 2, 3 games. And it's like how is that even possible? So there could be similarities with
Right.
the Eagles. It just goes to show how successful can Philly be despite all these challenges with them, and we're gonna see that test coming up.
Yeah, very strange to see an offense that was so explosive last year and have a 2,000 yard rusher not even average the over 50 yards or 55 yards per game.
Mhm.
Right.
And I honestly do believe that if things keep going the way that they do, you might see AJ Brown be talked in trades come the next few weeks here. We'll see what happens. We're gonna move on now. Texans 44-10 win over the Ravens. I think we all expected that. But the Titans and Cardinals. This was a game that I had the Titans winning comfortably.
The
But
Cardinals.
I should have known better. The Cardinals have not played a comfortable game all year long. I think some of that comes down to coaching, and I just feel like they're very conservative when they have a lead. And we saw it this time, and they had the ball roll their way literally. The Titans roll their way literally a few times in this game.
I
That
lost fucking bread on
touchdown
this
where
game, bro. I'm
where
tight.
Cam Ward throws a pick, it's it's intercepted. Then he fumbles and it rolls its way into the end zone and they pick it up. That is the most Titans way to score ever and the most Cardinals way to give up a score ever. It was destined. It was meant to happen. Just such a weird turn of events on that play, but really in this game, in total, Cam Ward only threw. He didn't throw a touchdown. He threw that interception that obviously turned into a touchdown. He was 21 of 39, not great, and threw for 265 yards. And Tony Pollard had 67 on the ground. Calvin Ridley had a get back game though with 131 yards, averaging 26 per completion. So obviously a few long completions in that game for him. And then Kyler Murray, he threw for a lot of yards. He was accurate, but he didn't do much through the air other than that in terms of scoring. And then their running game was pretty good. You got two guys over 50 yards. They just couldn't get it done. They play so conservative in the fourth quarter that it hurts them every single time.
It's not even playing conservative. Cardinals had this game locked in the bag and realistically could have won by 2, 3 scores. They lost because they shot themselves in the foot on just 2 plays. 2 plays lost them this game. The first play, you pick it off and you fumble the football. It goes into the end zone. Lockett is there to recover it for a touchdown. That is the first, like, how the fuck does that even happen for
It's the
one?
funniest play I've ever witnessed
It
live.
is. It is. It's such a Cardinals way to give up a touchdown. And it got that didn't even lose them the game though. What lost them the game, Demercado breaks off a 78-yard run, and you see him almost get to the goal line, starts celebrating, drops the ball. It's a touchback.
And
Tight.
how many times is this gonna happen
How
in the NFL, bro? How
exactly?
many times?
Exactly. This
Dude,
is twice now. This is twice in 2 weeks, and we see it
Shit
almost
cost me
every year.
bread, bro.
How the fuck does this keep happening? You are taught not to celebrate or give up the football at the goal line. Celebrate when you actually reach the plane, when you're actually in the end zone. Boom, let go of the ball. You already scored. Not at the 1 yard line or the half-inch line, bro. How many times are you taught not to do that? The fact that these mistakes are happening, those players should not be in the league. They should be released. They should be on the practice squad. It is infuriating. You're taught not to do
That's
that.
high
And
school
you still
stuff.
do it. It's high school shit. It's pee-wee shit, not even high school. That shit is pee-wee, dude. And the fact that Gannon ripped him a new one on the sideline, I love that. That's a coach with passion getting him right. And the Cardinals fined Gannon $100,000 for doing that.
Yeah, and that's simply because he fucking hit him, bro. Like he hit him. He's lucky he didn't have that guy
Honestly,
coming back his way.
honestly, rightfully so. I'd do
Well,
the same shit. You lost us the game for a fucking mistake like that. Fuck you, dude.
Logan, you got anything?
They don't even deserve words out of my mouth. Next. Fuck them.
All right, moving on. Hey, you guys called it. Game of the week, Buccaneers, Seahawks. Buccaneers with a 38-35 win in what a game that came down to the wire. My God, was this a fun game to watch through and through. It was, I think, 5 lead changes in the second half of that game. And the defense sucked. Let's be real. The defenses were bad in this game. Baker Mayfield, almost 400 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Looking at Sam Darnold, 341, 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. Obviously, that interception coming by Levante David on the attempted game-winning drive from the Seahawks, and Old Reliable comes up big for them again. Emeka Ibuka, bro, this guy, he's already a star.
He's
He does
going
not even
stupid
look like
this
a rookie.
season.
163 yards, runaway favorite for the offensive rookie of the year, without a question. And honestly, the guy throwing him the ball might just be the MVP of the league.
Honestly, after 5 weeks, Egbuka is my offensive rookie of the year. Baker's my MVP. I think Egbuka is gonna win offensive rookie of the year. Honestly, I think he's locked it up and he's gonna continue to play like this because the number one reason why he's gonna continue to play like this is because he's got fucking Baker Mayfield as his quarterback,
Yeah.
who is ice cold. He does not like. He is so good under pressure, man. He is poised. He's calm. He's
Did you see that
confident.
pregame?
Oh,
thing
he
had
is
going on with the
cocky. I
fans?
love it. He is
I
cocky.
love that.
He went up to those fans and goes, "Fucking pussy, fuck you. We're gonna
Yeah,
like."
we'll
He was
check in
saying
with you at
shit.
halftime. At halftime,
Oh,
obviously, the
yeah.
game was still well within the hands of the Seahawks. Um, but just wow, dude, you've got that much confidence and you go out and you show for it.
I
Props
mean,
to
Baker
Baker.
is a dog, and honestly, after watching this game, I didn't expect Sam Darnold to continue playing like Minnesota Sam Darnold, but he's proven me wrong this season. He looks
Evan
phenomenal.
O'Connell effect, man.
He looks phenomenal.
He really has been awesome. Kevin O'Connell, you're the one who coined this term in this podcast, bro. He is a quarterback whisperer. What he's
Mhm.
been able to do for him, Daniel Jones as a backup, Carson Wentz, Carson Wentz obviously not playing fantastic, but he's doing enough.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to think of any other guys that
Cousins for a little bit.
who
Kirk Cousins for the year
right
he was there.
makes these guys solid quarterbacks, and we've fallen into this trap of saying, "Oh yeah, the Vikings have Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and Jordan Mason / Aaron Jones in the backfield, and they're awesome offensive line. Of course, he's going to succeed." having that success, it learns you so much going into a new system. You know what you're looking for, and you know what to look out for. And these guys have proven now that they can go off onto these other teams and still have the success. They should be thanking and sending Christmas cards to Kevin O'Connell, maybe with a little bit of that extension money for what he has done for them.
I want to hear Logan's thoughts on this game.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a great game, man. I didn't watch it until the end. Just like how one game ended and a different game at the same time was going on, so I was able to watch the end of it. But I thought it was a great game. I just got a couple popping stats. I'll give the real ones later, but Mayfield became the third QB in NFL history to have a 375-yard in less than 5 incompletion game. And he joined Kurt Warner and Peyton Manning.
Two
And
Hall of Famers.
Ibuka became the first and only rookie with at least 25 receptions and 5 receiving touchdowns in his first 5 games.
Insane.
Ibuka also joined Mike Evans as the only rookie with consecutive 100-yard games for the Buccaneers, which was pretty sweet. And yeah, the Bucs are impressive, man. I had the Seattle Seahawks win this game, but for some reason they can't get it done at home, and for some reason crowd noise doesn't affect Baker Mayfield, and the fact that he's done it yet again is so impressive. But I look back and I think about who's the best defense in the NFL, and I think it's the Houston Texans. And the fact
Oh,
that
yeah,
he did
yeah.
against the Houston Texans, now looking back, Week 5, knowing how good Houston is, man,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. Like Baker
Baker's
Mayfield, man.
different. He
But like
is different.
how long does this go? I mean, at this point, I'm here for the ride. I'm sitting comfy.
Honestly, it's been happening the past 2 years. Ever since he
All right,
joined
man.
Tampa, he's been a dog.
And I love seeing the highlights now, like of his like old days. Like I love seeing that highlight going on X and just some rap music behind Baker Mayfield getting absolutely
Yeah, the
pummeled.
edits have been crazy.
Late hit. He runs in the bench and he looks shaken up. It's on a stone shoulder. He's been out for weeks with it. And he gets right up and he goes right on the field and he goes, boom, and he just gives the first down sign. I'm just, man, this guy has had swagger since day one, and we've all and at day one we're all shitting on him. I mean, I don't think there was one person that was thinking Baker Mayfield was going to work out based on how his career started, and look how it's panned out. Kudos to
I
Baker.
always thought it was a Cleveland Browns issue. That is a quarterback
When
graveyard.
isn't it a Cleveland Browns
Yeah.
issue? It always
Right.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the you said how does he not fall under the pressure of that crowd noise? Goes back to his Oklahoma days, man. He played in some hostile environments and was always hearing it because even more so now or then than now, he was a cocky motherfucker, bro. He was talking his shit all the time and he did it publicly. And he's not doing it as publicly now, but you know in his mind, he's got that same mindset. He's just learned to be a better PR man as of recently. But he has been so awesome for the Buccaneers ever since that drive with the LA Rams that I still get chills about just thinking about that drive that he pulled off that in that game without having more than 24 hours of experience and knowing the playbook. And then he comes to Tampa and last year has a fantastic year and this year he's an MVP front runner. After that awesome Buccaneers game, obviously the Lions take care of business in Cincinnati. Cincinnati signs Joe Flacco, which will be interesting to see how that pans out for them. The Washington Commanders with not only a win, but a decisive win over the LA Chargers, who are now 3-2, and have now lost to the Commanders, who I believe aren't a super real team, but they know how to get it done. And the New York Giants. I don't really have much to say about this one, just that it's shocking. Either of you?
Go ahead, Logan.
I got nothing. The Chargers O line is in danger right now. The
Yeah,
penalties are killing them, and the sacks are killing them.
Yep, and the fact that they're just beat up off on the O line too with injuries. And then I also want to point out, like, obviously Jaden Daniels, he's missed a couple games and he's not playing like the Jaden Daniels we saw last year. But if the Washington Commanders defense has been the biggest question mark throughout the season, if they play like they did against the Chargers on Sunday, this team is going to be a threat to the Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles if that defense continues to play like that.
Okay. I will agree to disagree until I see more from them. But yes, impressive win over the Chargers. Obviously, the Chargers down their two starting tackles, which is just brutal. I don't even want to talk about this game. Let's move on to the Patriots and the Bills. Like I said last week, the Patriots had a real chance to win this game. I expected more from Buffalo. I expected more from Josh Allen. And I feel like Josh Allen didn't even play a terrible game. If we take a look at the stats, he was 22 of 31 for 253, two touchdowns, but he had that interception in a crucial. And Logan, I asked you last week, when's the last time Josh Allen's thrown a crucial interception? Yeah, it was last Sunday versus the Patriots, throwing that interception down inside the red zone, just absolutely brutal. James Cook was absolutely halted. He had 49 yards on 15 carries. They couldn't get any of their other running backs going. Dalton Kincaid was the leading receiver with 108 yards. On a side note, he has been awesome this year for a guy that was doubted the last 2 years um, as a first round pick. He has been great for us this year and maybe one of our most reliable receivers outside of Khalil Shakir. Um, but the Pats come into this one and Mike Vrabel had a game plan and he executed it. It was get the pressure on Josh Allen, stop James Cook in the run, and honestly, on offense, all you had to do was let May get outside the pocket and you were making a play. Stephon Diggs comes in 146 yards on 10 catches. Absolutely fantastic game from him. I hate to see it, but I love him as a guy still for what he did for the Bills. I just hate to see him do it against the Bills. Drake May proving he's everything that everyone has been hyping him up to be. 273 yards, didn't throw a touchdown, but didn't throw a pick, was very smart, decisive, and had a very good game. I don't have much more to say other than the Bills defense blew it for him. And we also had the turnovers as well, which were an issue. But credit to Mike Vrabel, credit to this New England team. They've got a real chance to give the Bills problems in the AFC East this year.
Yeah, and I think the Bills are going to face this problem again, and that is I will take Christian Gonzalez and Davis over on the Bills' top two receivers any day. I'll take them Monday through Sunday, Monday through Monday. Any day of the week, I'll take that matchup, and that's why Dalton Kincaid was getting all the love on offense because that was where the mismatch was, and the most impressive part for for the Patriots to me was that defensive line. The
Yeah,
way they
absolutely.
contained Josh Allen, the way I watched 300 plus pound men fly down the line on the line of scrimmage to mirror Josh Allen was unbelievable. I've never seen that kind of athleticism from three or more defensive linemen, you know, consistently. And they did that all game. They contained them all game. We saw them play one when they had a linebacker spy on Josh Allen, didn't work out, loss of none or gain of none. And then later in the game, when Josh Allen was trying to extend plays and make plays with his feet when they're losing and need something to happen, the defense was all over him, man. They had nowhere to run, and that's what kept the Patriots in it. And if you were going into the game thinking that would happen, you wouldn't even think that would happen. So I don't even know why I said that. You know what I mean? But they were so impressive. That defense was all over the place. I think that's the game the Patriots need to have on defense. I'm still not 100% sold on Drake May. I feel like a lot of the overreaction on Drake May is kind of scaring me because I don't think he is a top 8 quarterback in the NFL yet. He might not even be a top 10 if I
He's
really
in his
think about it.
second year. I think what you got to look at is just the promise right now. You don't have to
Right, it's
call him a
promising.
superstar. You don't
Yeah,
have to call him a top five quarterback yet. But
and
to go out against
right.
the leading team in your division, and play the way you did, you've got to give him some credit there and say, hey, this guy's got a lot of promise. He's got a lot of potential to really give the AFC problems in the future. Of course, you want to think back to some of the other games this year against the Raiders, against the Steelers.
Right.
Questionable games for sure. Xander, you got anything on this one?
You guys pretty much nailed it. I mean, this is the biggest win of Drake May's career by far, in my opinion, and this is something that's going to build the team and then some. I mean, that defense played lights out. It's a big win for Drake. It gets so much confidence on his part. You go into Buffalo, you beat the reigning MVP at his place. I mean, that's a huge win for a second-year quarterback. But I also have to agree with Logan on this part. I'm not sold on him just yet. I mean, he's shown a lot of promise. I like what he's been doing, but he's not a top 10 quarterback. And the fact that there are people saying, oh, he's top 5, top 8, top 10, it's stupid. It's outrageous. A buddy of mine was saying the only quarterbacks I'd take over Drake May right now have won an MVP. Fuck out of here with that. You're saying Baker Mayfield is better than Drake May? No. I take Baker Mayfield over Drake May. Obviously Lamar, Joe Burrow, I'd take over Drake May. If Burrow's healthy, of course. I take Mahomes, I take Darnold over May in my opinion. That may or may not be a hot take, but
I'd take Daniel Jones over Drake May.
Taking Josh Allen over Drake May.
Yeah, like I said, all the quarterbacks that have won an MVP outside of Aaron Rodgers, I take over Drake May, and then there's other guys like Darnold, Baker Mayfield, CJ. I almost slipped up right there. I don't know if I take CJ
CJ Stroud is like
Well-
if Drake May is 1, CJ Stroud is 2.
Yeah, I'd take Herbert over Drake May.
So I think the issue is recency bias, and it's a huge problem among the NFL community right now. You saw it with CJ Stroud. They called him a top 5 quarterback after his rookie season. You see it with Jaden Daniels. They called him a top 5 quarterback after bringing him there. And now, there's those ultra super hard Patriots fans that want to say that Drake May's a top 5, top 10 quarterback. I don't agree with it yet. I think he's got a lot of promise. But then you've got guys who are saying he's top 5 in MVP right now. Hell no. Hell no. Your team is 3-2. You've lost 2 terrible games.
Did they watch the Steelers game?
That's what I'm saying. They played. He's had his fair share of bad games, and the guys that are in the MVP running right now, Allen, Mayfield, among others.
Mahomes is number 2 right now
which is
in betting,
crazy.
which is crazy. Yeah.
I'd put Egbuka in MVP talks. Honestly.
Yeah, but you know how the award is nowadays.
Right. It's a quarterback award at this point. But any of those guys
is
who are,
another one that I
any of those guys who are in the MVP running right now haven't played bad games. They haven't played bad games, and Drake May has so far. So, I think that it's a little soon to be calling him that. I'm just saying he's got a ton of promise, and New England fans should be happy with what they see, especially with Stephon Diggs playing the way he has the last 2 weeks. All right, let's go ahead and close it out here with the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Maybe outside of the Bucs game, the most exciting game that we had this week in the NFL. It looked like the Chiefs had this one for a while, and Mahomes looked like he was playing well, and he was playing like his old self. And then you have that red zone run by the Chiefs. They get down to the 1-yard line, and flashback of Russell Wilson throwing at the 1-yard line. You've got Mahomes. He decides to throw it over the middle. Devin Lloyd, of all people, picks it off and runs 99 yards. The slowest 99 yards I've ever seen in my life, by the way. But nonetheless, takes it to that, besides maybe James Harrison. But he takes
James Harrison was 100, so it's not the slowest 99 yards.
Okay, right. But he takes it 99 yards to the end zone, and that turns the game. And we saw the first real emergence of Travis Hunter. He had that big 44-yard completion. I don't know if you guys saw the catch. Double coverage. He jumps over both of them and catches that ball. It's fumbling in his hands as he's coming to the ground and still is able to hold on to it. Very impressed by him. Very impressed by Brian Thomas on that last drive, catching that fade route where he caught it over his shoulder. And then Trevor Lawrence, maybe the second funniest play that we saw all week. 1-yard line after that PI call, falls on the ground. He's down there for damn near 3 seconds. And Chris Jones is there scratching his nuts, not doing anything, and gets up and he takes off to the end zone and wins the game. We've had so many questions about Trevor Lawrence, and I still do, but to see that kind of game out of him gives you a lot of hope as a Jags fan.
Oh yeah, and I mean, that was a big win for Jacksonville, and now you have Indianapolis and Jacksonville both at 4-1. That is two shocking records no one saw coming, in my opinion, and that division is going to go down to the wire between Jacksonville and Indy, in my opinion, and then. Obviously, I like what Jacksonville defense does, and if you look back at that replay, Mahomes never even saw Devin Lloyd. He saw an open receiver, threw it across his body, and then Lloyd out of nowhere just comes in, picks it off, takes it to the crib, and then obviously Trevor Lawrence not giving up on a play, falls down a couple times, gets into the end zone. What the hell are the Chiefs defense doing on that? How do you not fucking touch him?
I was not exaggerating. You watch the video, Chris Jones is literally scratching his nuts
Yeah,
as
it's like,
Lawrence
what are
gets up
you
off the ground.
doing, dude? It's insane. But how about Liam Cohen, man? He has transformed that entire Jaguars team, and he is coaching with passion. There's fire to him. He's got a certain edge that a lot of coaches don't have, and you could see it on the field and in the locker room. The players are playing for Liam Cohen, and that's going to be a big reason why Jacksonville is going to be successful in the future.
Yeah, the Jaguars needed that. Jacksonville, the city needed that.
Mm.
And I would say the most surprising and if you need to take a note on anything in this game is Jaguars came into this game expected to run the football, knowing the Chiefs weren't good at stopping the run. And who decided this game? Trevor Lawrence. When have we been able to say that about the Jacksonville Jaguars? When,
Right.
when have we been able to say Trevor Lawrence won the Jaguars this football game and it was against the Kansas City Chiefs? Never. So for Liam Cohen to have a game plan to make Trevor Lawrence successful, to allow him to have the confidence to use his legs, something we haven't seen all year or all of his career with Jacksonville, for him to come out and do that, impressive, shows a lot about the promise is real with this Jacksonville offense. So
100%.
kudos to Cohen, you main offensive coordinator uh, once upon a time back in 2018. Um, good to see him and Jacksonville finally doing good.
Mm.
Yeah, very impressive game from the Jags. Very well coached. Uh, all right, Logan, very quickly. I know we've got some stats to read off to us. I've got 9% on my laptop, so I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, man, we'll do the eye poppers. Start with number one. Through 5 weeks, 11 different teams have scored 40 points in a game, including the Texans and Colts this past week. The Colts, the Cowboys, and the Ravens have scored 40 points twice, meaning we've seen 14 40-point games this year, which is the most in NFL history through 5 weeks. Second eye popper. Bucks have trailed in the fourth quarter in every game this year, and they're 4-1. The 2025 Bucks are the first team in NFL history to win 4 of the first 5 games by 3 points or less. They're also the first team to win 4 of the first 5 games while trailing in every game with under 1 minute left in the fourth quarter.
Damn.
Unreal.
And then I already shared the Mayfield stats. Became third quarterback to have 375 and less than 5 incompletions. Then Ibuka, his rookie stats. And then Jared Goff in this offense for the Detroit Lions is on fire. Detroit leads the NFL in scoring with 34 points in the last 4 games, or leads the NFL in scoring, and they've scored 34 points in the last 4 games. Excuse me. Goff leads the NFL with 12 touchdowns and a 75% completion percentage. He's the only player to lead the NFL in touchdown and completion percentage other than Aaron Rodgers when he won MVP in 2020.
Mm.
Then Jane Daniels, first quarterback in history to rush for 1,000 yards within his first 20 games, and he passed Lamar, who did it in 21 games. And I was talking to Max before this. I'm surprised Lamar didn't do that in like 16, 17 games. So that I guess I'd have to go back and look at some of Jaden Daniels' stats and see how he was really running the football. But that's impressive.
I got some eye poppers. This is the most eye popping. So, top three in the league in terms of receptions. Number three, you have a running back. It's Christian McCaffrey at 39. Number two, you have a tight end who isn't even in top seven conversations. You have Jake Ferguson with 41.
Wow.
And number one is Puka Nakua. He's got 12 more than the guy in second place with 52. Uh,
Yeah.
and that's 52 through 5 weeks. And if he stays on this pace, That's an NFL record, 177 catches in a season.
Wow.
If he stays on this pace. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of a drop off, but that just goes to show how insane of a year Puka Nacua is having. In terms of receiving yards, number 1 in the league in receiving yards, Puka Nacua. He's got 588. That's on track to be 1 yard shy of 2,000 in a season. So, in my opinion, outside of Baker Mayfield in my MVP rankings, that dude is number 2.
Yeah,
Josh Allen's still number 1 for me.
I got
Yeah, I think you got to have Allen at 1 or 2. I think, especially since Allen's team is still 4-1. But he had a mediocre, I'll say mediocre game versus more so he was held in check.
Subpar.
Nakua, I was just about to say, definitely a dark horse if anyone other than a quarterback could win MVP. But he will win Offensive Player of the Year if he keeps this up. 100% he will win Offensive Player of the Year. And he's such an interesting wide receiver. You can do so much with him, and he's mastered the craft of everything on the route tree. He can do it all. And when Matt Stafford falls into a hole, he's got to rely on him, and he does. And that's why the Rams have been successful this year, and why their offense has been so successful. Because outside of him, yeah, you got Tutu Atwell who's playing all right. You got Devontae Adams, obviously, but when it comes down to it, game on the line, who are you throwing to? Puka Nacua. He's been awesome this year, Offensive Player of the Year through 5 weeks.
Agreed.
Any closing thoughts, fellas?
I'm psyched for the spread video.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we will be recording that one tomorrow and hopefully getting that out to you guys soon enough. But this was the In the Pocket podcast. Thanks for coming along and joining us. If you want to, if you watch ball, you want to talk ball, subscribe to the channel. Follow us on social media. We try and
Comments.
post more on social media as well. We all got very busy schedules nowadays, but we're going to be doing our best. But yeah, thanks for watching and have a good rest of your week. Enjoy the NFL Sunday.
Peace.